Good morning, students. Hope all are doing well at your places. Today we are going to learn Grammar Chapter 3, the phrase and the clause. So in this video lecture, children, we are going to understand what is the phrase, kinds of phrases, what is the clause and their kinds. So let's start. First, let us discuss phrases. What is a phrase? A phrase is a group of words. They do not have subject-verb combination, and if they are used alone, they do not make any sense. But if they are a part of a sentence, then they make a sense. Look at the example, children. A beautiful home. These are group of words but do not have subject-verb combination, and a beautiful home doesn't make any sense. But when they are a part of a sentence, I built a beautiful home. So here you can see, children, when phrase is a part of a sentence, then it makes a sense. Further, phrases are divided into three types, that is noun phrase, adjective phrase and adverb phrase. Now let us understand each type in detail. Children, first let us understand meaning of the noun phrase. What is a noun phrase? A noun phrase consists of a noun and other related words, usually modifiers and determiners, which modify the noun. It functions like a noun in a sentence. For example, a nice red shirt, a glass full of water, a man on the roof. So children, here you can see the nouns shirt, glass, man have been modified. Even remember, children, that noun phrase answers to the question what. Now let us discuss the functions of noun phrases, children. Noun phrase can be a subject, direct object or indirect object in a sentence. For example, this book is very interesting. Here, noun phrase this book is a subject in a sentence. Mary kicked the ball. So here, the noun phrase the ball is a direct object. He gives his father a hat. So here the noun phrase, children, his father is an indirect object in the sentence. They can also function as subject complement, object complement and prepositional complement. Now what do you mean by complement, children? Complement is a word or words that are used to complete the expression. Here you can see, children, in these examples, a student, team leader, this company are noun phrases. So here in example 1, he is a subject. So a student is used to complete the expression of the subject. That's why it is called as subject complement. In example 2, team leader is used to complete the expression of the object, that is you. In example 3, it is used to complete the expression of the preposition in. Now let us discuss type 2, that is adjective phrases. First, children, let us understand meaning of adjective phrase. What is an adjective phrase? An adjective phrase is a prepositional phrase used to modify or describe a noun or pronoun. Children, like an adjective phrase tells us which one or what kind. An adjective phrase always follows the noun or pronoun it modifies. Let us understand the things with the help of example. The books in the library are well organized. So you can see, children, prepositional phrase in the library, and it is modifying the noun books. Similarly, let us take up other example. During the spring, vegetables of all kinds grow in a garden. So here you can see, children, of all kinds prepositional phrase, and it is modifying the noun vegetables. Children, study the following adjectives and adjective phrases that are the equivalent to them. So have a look on this table, children. Adjective, a golden crown. So adjective phrase will be a crown made of gold. If an adjective is a white elephant, then adjective phrase will be an elephant with a white skin. So children, these are some of the examples of adjectives and adjective phrases. Let us understand the meaning of type 3, that is adverb phrase. What is an adverb phrase? An adverb phrase is a prepositional phrase that modifies a verb, an adjective or an adverb. Like an adverb phrase tells how, when, where or to what degree. An adverb phrase can come anywhere in the sentence. For example, good nutrition is important for health. How important it is? For health. So you can see, children, this prepositional phrase for health. Next example, vitamins are provided in many foods. So you can see prepositional phrase in many foods. So provided where? In many foods. Study the following adverbs and adverb phrases that are equivalent to them. Children, you can see adverb here, bravely. So adverb phrase can be in a brave manner or with bravery. Adverb unwisely. Adverb phrase can be in an unwise manner or without wisdom. Similarly, children, swiftly, in a swift manner or with swiftness. Beautifully, in a beautiful style. Now let us understand clauses. What is a clause? A clause is a group of words with its own subject and verb. For example, since she laughs at different men. So you can see, children, in this example, subject she and verb laughs. So a clause is a group of words which consists of both subject and a verb. Clauses are further divided into two, that is independent and dependent clause. Again, children, dependent clause is divided into three, that is noun, adjective and adverb clauses. First, let us understand meaning of independent clause. Children, independent clause consists of subject, verb and they express complete thought. For example, he is wearing a red shirt. You can see he, that is subject, is wearing verb, and this sentence expresses a complete thought. That means it can stand by its own. It can also be called as main or principal clause. Now, dependent clause. Children, dependent clause also consists of subject and verb combination joined using subordinating conjunctions, but they do not stand by their own. They depend on the main clause to complete their sense. For example, he is wearing a shirt which look very nice. So here you can see, children, two clauses. He is wearing a red shirt which is complete in its sense, that is independent clause, which subordinating conjunction, look very nice depends on the independent clause to complete its sense. So this look very nice is a dependent clause. Now let us discuss types of subordinate clauses in detail. On the basis of their function in a sentence, subordinate clauses can be divided into following types: noun clause, adjective clause, and adverb clause. Let us learn each type in detail. First, noun clause. What is a noun clause, children? Noun clauses functions as nouns. They are word groups with their own subject and verb that in turn function as a subject, object, or complement in a sentence. So noun clauses also function sometimes as nouns of direct address. So they answer the question what. Let us discuss the functions of noun clause, children. Noun clause can be subject of the sentence. For example, that he had even asked her made her angry. So that he had even asked her. So here you can see this clause is a subject of the sentence. Next, they can be direct object in a sentence. So nobody knows. Nobody knows what? How he got involved in such activities. So here you can see, children, the clause how he got involved in such activities is a direct object. Next is noun clause can be an indirect object in a sentence. I will inform who took the last exam of the score next week. So noun clause who took the last exam here is an indirect object. Children, they can be subject complement in a sentence. For example, the insult was that he had even asked her. That he had even asked her, noun clause, is a subject complement here in the sentence. Next is they can be object of a preposition. Look at the example, children. She found fault in what he had asked her. So you can see the preposition in and the noun clause what he had asked her as a object of a preposition. Next is they can even be a object complement in a sentence. For example, you can call him what you wish. So what you wish here is object complement. They can also function as appositive to the subject, appositive to the object. Now what do you mean by appositive, children? When we use two noun phrases next to each other in a clause and they refer to the same person or thing, we call this as apposition. For example, I hate those that oppose me. Here you can see, children, noun phrase I hate is next to the noun clause that oppose me. Now let us understand about adjective clauses. Adjective clauses are dependent clauses that must be joined to independent clause to complete its sense. It describes nouns and pronouns. It often placed in a sentence right after the noun they describe. They add details to sentence by functioning as adjectives. So children, what are adjective clauses? Similar way as adjective and adjective phrases, they also function as adjectives in a sentence. Adjective clauses begin with one of the relative pronouns such as who, whom, whose, where, that, which. They are also called as relative clauses, children. They answer to the question what kind, which one, how many, how much, in the similar way as adjectives and adjective phrases answer. Adjective clauses in a sentence are joined using relative pronouns, children. So these are who, that, which, whose, when, where. Now with the help of this table, let us understand where do we use these relative pronouns. Children, who or that refer to the people, which or that refer to objects, whose refers to possession, that is ownership, when refers to a moment in time, where refers to a particular place. In non-defining sentences, children, the word that cannot replace who or which, but it can replace in defining sentences. Let us understand the use of each in detail with examples, children. Relative pronoun who and adjective clause. Who refers to people and they are used as subject in the clause. For example, the lady who teaches in the political science department is my mentor. So here relative pronoun is used as the subject of the clause. Next is use of whom. Whom refers to people used as object or object of preposition. Children, remember, in formal grammar we use whom for object position, not who. Look at the example. Sally, who he knew arrived yesterday. So here who is the object of the clause. Next example, the student of whom he spoke was a foreigner. Here relative pronoun whom is the object of the preposition. Which is a preposition here? Of. Now let us learn about the use of which or that. They refer to things or animals. Look at the examples, children. Which, that is used to refer the things, that is the watch, the ring. Whereas in example 3, that is used to refer the lion, that is an animal. Note, the sentence using which is more formal than the one with that. Now where to use whose? Whose refers to possession or ownership. For example, the father whose child is missing is frantic. Next example, the company whose manager has resigned is in dire straits. Now let us learn the use of relative pronoun where. Where refers to a place in country, in city, at school. Children, remember, it cannot be a subject. It can be omitted, but a preposition at, in, to usually must be added. For example, the house where he stays is old. So in the next example, children, we can omit where, but as we have discussed, in that case preposition should be added. The house in which he stays is old. So here where is omitted, but the preposition in has been used. Where to use relative pronoun why? Children, why refers to reason and it can be omitted in a sentence. For example, I don't know why he winked. Look at another example, children. I don't know the reason he winked. So here in the second example, it has been omitted. Still, it makes the complete sense. Children, further adjective clauses are divided into two more types, that is identifying adjective clause and non-identifying adjective clause. First, let us understand identifying adjective clause. Children, it tells you which person or thing you are talking about. That means it gives you necessary information. For example, bring me the book. Which one? The book that is sitting on the table. On the other hand, children, non-defining adjective clause tells you extra information that might be important, but it's not necessary to identify someone or something. For example, where do you live? I live in North Seattle. So this information is sufficient to understand where the person lives. But further you can see, children, which is a nice place to live. This adjective clause is non-identifying adjective clause because it is giving you extra information which is not necessary. And very easy way to find out the difference between identifying adjective clause and non-identifying adjective clause, children. You can see examples. Here the clause has not been separated by marking commas, whereas in non-identifying adjective clause you can see there is a comma in a sentence which separates the non-identifying adjective clause. Now let us discuss type 3, that is adverbial clauses. What are adverbial clauses, children? An adverbial clause or an adverb clause is a group of words which plays the role of an adverb. Like all clauses, an adverbial clause will contain a subject and a verb. We know, children, a clause consists of a subject and a verb. Similar way, adverb clause also consists of subject and verb. And they answer to the question when, where, why, how often, how long. Children, adverb clauses are further divided into different types, that is adverb clause of time, manner, place, reason, comparison, condition, concession or contrast, result and purpose. So let's understand their use. How to identify adverb clause of time in a sentence? An adverb clause of time states when something happens or how often. It often starts with one of the following subordinating conjunction, that is after, as long as soon as, before, since, until, when or while. Look at the examples, children. After she graduates, she will get a job. So after is a subordinating conjunction. She will get a job when? After she graduates. So it is denoting time. I will leave before he comes. So before is a subordinating conjunction. So it's denoting the time. I will leave When? Before he comes. Now, adverb clause of manner. An adverb clause of manner states how something is done. It often starts with one of the following subordinating conjunctions like as, like, how, and the way. Let us understand with the help of examples, children. I was never allowed to do things as I wanted to do them. I wonder how I learned grammar inefficiently for almost 15 years. We sometimes do not realize the way God helped us. In these examples, children, we can see how the things have been done. Wonder how I learn grammar. Realize the way God help us. Now about adverb clauses of place. An adverbial place clause tells where the action described by the main verb takes place. It often starts with a preposition, for example, in, on, near, or one of the following subordinating conjunctions like anywhere, everywhere, where, or wherever. Now examples of everywhere, where, wherever. Young people have to go where they can find jobs. Everywhere we went, people greeted us warmly. She is always drunk wherever I meet her. Adverb clause of reason. An adverb clause of reason offers a reason for the main idea. It often starts with one of the following subordinating conjunctions like since, as, because, for. Children, we know reason answers to the question why. Examples: I couldn't come to your party because I was rather sick. The car crashed because the driver was careless. Children, you can see the reasons for these actions. That is, couldn't come because I was rather sick. So, crashed because the driver was careless. Adverb clause of condition. Adverb clause of condition states the condition for the main idea to come into effect. It often starts with if, unless, only if, even if, whether or not. Have a look on examples, children. If it rains, we will not go out. So we will not go out. What is the condition for this? If it rains. She will come if you invite. So she will come on what condition? If you invite her. Adverb clause of concession, contrast. It is used to express ideas or actions that are not expected. That means contradictive with the fact. It often starts with subordinating conjunctions like although, though, even though, even if, while, whereas, no matter. For example, although he is small, he is very strong. So you can see contrast, children, that is small and strong. Adverb clauses of result or consequence. Adverb clauses of result or consequence are introduced by the subordinating conjunctions that frequently so or such precedes it in the principal clause. For example, he is such a good man that all respect him. He spoke in such a low voice that few could hear him. So we all know, the children, what do you mean by result? That is outcome of any action. Now let us understand adverb clauses of purpose. Adverb clauses of purpose are introduced by the subordinating conjunctions so that, in order that, and lest. In order that and lest are used in a formal style, children. Do remember this. For example, I will give you the map so that you can find the way. She started early lest she should avoid delay. Last type is, children, adverb clauses of comparison of degree. Adverb clauses of comparison of degree are introduced by the subordinating conjunction than or by the relative adverb as. Look at the examples, children. He is older than he looks. He is as stupid as he is lazy. Let us summarize types of adverb clauses, children. Time answers to the question when. Place answers to the question where. Cause answers to the question why. What caused it. Contrast answers to the question how. Condition, under what conditions. Purpose, why, what's the reason. Result, what's the result of. Manner answers to the question how. Let's revise what we have learned. We have learnt about phrases and clauses. Phrases do not contain a subject and a predicate. Clauses contain a subject and a predicate. Children, we have also learned that phrases cannot convey a complete thought, whereas clauses can sometimes convey a complete thought in case when it is independent. Phrases cannot stand alone, but independent clauses can stand alone. Children, I hope with the thorough understanding of the chapter, you will be able to identify phrases and clauses in a sentence. Thank you.